This is Ready Set Reiki, a podcast about Reiki, universal energy life force. From the curious beginner to the seasoned master teacher, we welcome all lineages and all levels. So today you are blessed to not only have one guide, but two guides. So I am your first guide, Tracy Searight.
And I'm your second guide, Millie Pampena.
And today we are in for a treat. So I will be interviewing my co-guide, Millie Pampena. She was blessed to have the opportunity to attend the International Reiki Organization Northeast Reiki Retreat in upstate New York. Now this was hosted by the Ripple Effect Spiritual Therapies from May 4th to the 7th of 2023. So Millie's going to tell us all about her magical experience and her time at this retreat. So Millie, welcome to Ready Set Reiki.
Thank you.
Always love when we turn the tables and we get to interview each other. So our first question we have on the Ready Set Reiki is, so what are some of the reasons that you should consider going to a Reiki retreat like this?
Well, I have to tell you, Tracy, and I don't want to say surprised, but it was just such a pleasant experience because, it was so nice that all the ones that I've looked at and seen out there, they tend to be, advertising that they're in some great destination that really gets you out of and away from home and your daily routine. And this was absolutely no exception. This retreat was situated in Silver Bay, New York. It's in the Adirondacks, upstate New York. So beautiful, Lake George. Nothing like I had experienced in quite a while. It was so close to nature. It offered the perfect setting and the space to forget about everything I needed to forget about and focus on, my reasonings for being there, and just really, getting the time to reflect and renew and restore, which is something I desperately needed at the time. Let's be honest, we all have our personal lives, our families, our business, and everything else that we're dealing with, our health and whatnot, and just today. And it was really, for me, it was very life-changing, because I've been practicing energy healing for some time, but this really provided me a way to reconnect and to bring back, my interest and zest and joy for this, and really gain clarity into making more meaningful decisions about not only where I want to go with this and how I want to go with this and where my interests were, but finding new resources, making new network connections, doing all these things that I was hoping to gain from it. It really did work. Unplugging, really did help me see clearly what I was hoping to, get out of this. And if I didn't see it right then, it at least gave me enough opportunity to, unwind, think clearly, not have my brain so over processed, and, decide on some other paths I wanted to take. And the other thing, or most important to me, was getting out there and really having access to the expert advice of others who've been doing this, maybe not forever. Some were just new to it, and hearing their questions and their concerns and their thoughts really gave me, questions and concerns and thoughts of my own to follow different avenues or ask more questions or feel more informed about what folks are thinking out there. Again, I chose this particular retreat because one, it was offered by the Reiki.org, the William Rand organization, and it was going to give me an opportunity not only to meet several people in that group, which I have been following and my lineage comes from, um, also to meet others who have various Reiki practices and like Ready Set Reiki, to explore how they incorporate Reiki into their lives, their businesses, and what they want to do and where they want to be. There was just so many different varieties of it. We had vendors there, various types. Um, we had authors, artists, beautiful representation of some shamanic healing, and naturalists, various products that folks were selling, a lot of just great interaction with folks and their businesses. And it was just, very memorable to see how people were, going about or why they came to this particular event and how they got there with their businesses and what drove them to do this. There was one group there who they promote Reiki for kids. They had a whole beautiful program. Much of it was inspired by the loss of their beautiful son when he was in his 20s. And it was just, oh, I just love this. So also some things that I would not have thought of. We did a lot of Reiki shares and circles, and they weren't necessarily hours and hours long. Some of them were very brief. They got us motivated, they got us in the mood, they got us focused. They did give away prizes at every I would say session, because they, people wanted to come, so you had an opportunity to win something. I won twice. It was exciting. And we also had what they were selling is Ripple Effects had these Reiki candles, and you put your candle when you bought it up on the table, and we would all send Reiki to those candles, really charging them with energy. Put your name on it, and after the event, you could take your candle home and enjoy and be empowered by the beautiful Reiki that was sent from others all during this time. The presentations I thought were all top notch. There wasn't one that I attended that I can't say that I still don't find memorable, and I got a lot out of. And the variety was really good. We had everything from, business, how to run a business. We had Pam Allen LeBlanc leading some of those things. And this is, these are things these folks do for their business. So to have them there leading these sessions on that, anywhere from that with distance Reiki, with fascial healing, with a variety of, topics and things that you might not just come across in your everyday practice or in your local area. It was great to step outside and meet people from all over that were able to, share with us their approach and what they were doing and how they got there. I also ended up joining a book club or a book circle, and finding out pleasantly that I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and the folks that ran this were also from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So it's been such a joy and blessing to meet them and to find out various activities in Pittsburgh that I had no idea were going on. And they share their thoughts and schedules and spiritual quest with us. And I'm just so literally blown away by all the new opportunities I have right here where I live. One of the other things outside the presentations was the music and chanting. We had some of the best sound healing. I did go up early. So on the 4th, I ended up all day in, sound vibration, shamanic healing, how to move energy classes morning and night. with a beautiful shamanic healer. So Zelda Hotelier, and she kind of generates everything she does through recycling. So all her beautiful instruments she makes and all her everything that she presents there from a vendor standpoint or uses in her classes, and then her stories and the beautiful things she was teaching and training us in, and all the fun we had just being there, meeting with her and being with each other, were just, I think that was priceless, and that's going to drive me to want to go again next year.
Right, right.
Yeah, it's just fun. And I'll tell you what else. We even had a shake your soul, so we
Nice.
everybody got to, there was just such a variety of meditations and approaches. And like I said, the shamanic healing in such a beautiful setting. They had a labyrinth there. The facility was, although it was, in the wilderness, sort of, along the side of the lake, they're beautiful. And it was the building I stayed in was over 100 years old, large, large lodge. It was and now it's was appropriated and used by the YMCA. They have so many different um, buildings and things going on there. There were other groups there, and you would have never known it. That's how big and
Wow.
beautiful this was.
Yeah.
Big stone chapel, just amazing for sound healing, the sound, the vibrations, the vibe you just got from being there. Big stone meeting area where we did some guided meditations and drumming sessions. That was just, it just made you feel like you were there. You just didn't even want to bring in other outside thoughts at that time. It was just like, I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave. And
Wow.
again, the rooms were comfortable and clean and very accessible. They had a great meal program that was beautifully done. Meal times were when they were. It was cafeteria style. The food was awesome. They also had, if you're a vegetarian or you had those vegan and vegetarian choices there. So it was nice. Um, the other thing was I did get to meet, and he made himself very accessible, was William Rand, along with all of the other instructors there that were there from the license instructors, and who did presentations and worked with the audience. And we would do Reiki on one another. We would do hands-on healing right there. And you know what? You felt like you were at home. You didn't feel conscious about
Mm.
hugging another person next to you, that and sharing Reiki that way. We had a couple of situations or a couple of opportunities to do exercises where you just brought yourself forward to an individual by hands on, by saying, who are you? And we went through this several times. Who are you? And the individual would respond, who are you? And they would respond. And you'd walk them down through this like 20 different times until the
Mhm.
person was really like, I am, I am, I am. Really positive reinforcement. And then, of course, I have to say one of my favorite was the world healing ceremony at the end, where we all made lines, and the person from the beginning of the line came down to the end of the line. And as that person went through the line, you would lay hands on them and whisper into their ear a positive affirmation, which
Lovely.
was just so nice. Oh, it was beautiful, because you really got some of those folks um, had been really giving during the conference
For
with
sure.
their time and their energy and their presentations, and it was just so nice to be able to put your hand on their shoulder and say, you're beautiful.
Yeah. Give it
This was
back.
awesome. exactly. This is, I got so much from you. Thank you. Thank you.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
And, Tracy, I know that you and we meet a lot of people, and we've been very blessed with that. And through Ready Set Reiki, we get a great opportunity to talk about technique and energy information and education and all those beautiful things. And it was just so nice to be in the same room with some of those individuals that we talk about. And we use their training, and we use their platforms, and we use their books and materials to see and hear from them personally, from the roots on up, how they really came about this.
Right.
So I, I couldn't say enough about it, because, when you do what we do, your goal is to spend time in it, with yourself and with others. And so nice that, I had that opportunity to just focus on that in such a wonderful setting.
Right.
And, sometimes I really felt like I was there with real rock stars.
For sure, for sure. And if our viewers aren't familiar, William Rand, he is not only the president of the ICRT, he is also the author of The Healing Touch, and that's the first and second degree. Pamela Allen LeBlanc was there as well, and she not only is a Holy Fire teacher, but she is the co-author of the Animal Reiki manual as well, and I believe she wrote a book on the business of Reiki. So in addition to Tracy Sullivan, so all of them on the list here, it seems some rock stars for sure, in the business who've been there and, in that active service. So
Yeah,
wonderful. So you really just felt it was just really a shift in the conscious way of life, right?
it really was. And the most interesting part about it was I felt like I could incorporate that more into my daily life when I came back, by just, finding myself at that level, or that of consciousness, where I was saying, yeah, yeah, this is temporary,
Right,
that is permanent. I need to be able to bridge that gap.
right,
Um and so many people who were experiencing their own personal traumas and issues had experienced that, knew it was coming, and how they were there just to, develop that same sense of, you know, where I want to be, how I want to be, and, what do I need to do to heal myself and get there. It was,
right,
like I said, all levels. They did a
right.
beautiful uh, board, like a panel, where
Hmm.
they had four different people there, and they were all on very, very different levels of experience and
Right.
reasoning, and that they were there. And every one of them just sparked something that made me very, you know, curious about
Right.
the next things I was going to do, not just about myself, but maybe about my clients, or my approach, or my offerings. So
Right,
yeah.
right. So for our viewers or who are almost there, almost sold on this package that you're presenting to us, what would you summarize about this experience and why others should consider one of these experiences?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And, when I think about my takeaways, besides all the beautiful things, if I had prioritized them, or if I would prioritize them, education, you know, that was so critical in this day and age of connectivity. It's beautiful to see people out there. It's nice to know where things are, but it's really different when you get an opportunity to interact and network and meet the experts and others working in the field. Just the hands-on guidance and training from these, really outstanding mentors, experts, and, you know, honest newbies in the field to, bring their experiences maybe into enhancing or changing the direction with my own,
Right.
um, which, also brings me to, I maybe an overused term, which is networking. Um, Really, it was able to broaden and expand my view, and my contact list tenfold. So it was just beautiful. And I'm working on bringing people into our podcast to share these experiences. And, you know, also, oddly enough, a renewed sense of commitment to my decisions to enter into the energy healing field and realm in the first place.
Right.
I was here for a variety of personal reasons, but now that has expanded as well, which is good, because you don't want to flame out. You
Right.
want to you want to feel that you're really providing a service not only to yourself but to others.
Right. For
And
sure.
sometimes if you're heading just on the same path, maybe boredom can set in. And
All right.
that's, I just wanted to say, wow, I just really want to see how others feel and what they're doing. And maybe I can, take it up a couple stages or levels
Right,
here.
right. Always learning and growing and expanding. Wonderful.
Exactly. And I can't
Wonderful.
make it up on my own. I have to see what, get a sense of what others are, and in such a beautiful setting, like Silver Bay, just enjoying the time with nature and sharing with others, just a meal.
Right.
Sometimes you saw somebody sitting there and you go and put your tray down and start talking with them, and what you found out was just beyond what you thought you were going to.
Right. And just being in community with like minds and growing and learning from each other too. Always wonderful. For our listeners, the ICRT program at Reiki.org, they have a 2023 Sedona, Arizona International Reiki Retreat, and that's going to be September 1st to the 4th. That's a Labor Day weekend, so check it out on their page. It's lots of activities, lots of growth. Millie just shared all the wonderful experiences that she had. If you ever feel called to go the path of the ICRT and go through all that, it's one of the requirements that you attend one of the retreats that they offer. So, but thank you, Millie, so much. Is there anything else that you want to tell our viewers?
Yeah, I found this out through you, Tracy. Tracy's been thankfully leading me down this path, sometimes pushing me down the path. Tracy, as she has stated before, has the blood sugar of a hummingbird. So she's constantly moving, moving, moving. Um, you can also attend these online. So
Correct. You
I
can do
guess
it virtually. So I'm going to be attending the one in Sedona virtually. It's not that far from here, so I could probably get there physically, but yes.
but it's a good offering, and also all the sessions from the Northeast one, which was the second one they had. They had one in 2022 and now 2023, and they were making an offer to everybody. So they offer you a substantial discount to come in 2024 if you've been there before.
Yes.
They were offering it for a limited time, just so everybody knows it's not on the website. But they, again, all the events were basically filmed. So everything has been, recorded and is out there for the attendees to review in the future. So anything that you saw that you thought was really amazing, that you wanted to revisit, it's available to you as an attendee.
Right. Well, thank you so much for sharing all of this wonderful information with our viewers so that they can get a little taste of it. Maybe that kind of piqued their appetite and they're ready for a little bit more to take that next step. So, this has been another episode of Ready, Set, Reiki. Millie's going to take us out with her tagline.
Well, as you've heard before, and I'll say this, and every time I get a chance to see beauty in everything is a choice. Please choose wisely. I'm Millie Pampena, your co-guide.
And I'm the other guide, Tracy Searight. If you have any questions or need to reach out to us or just want to check us out, you can find us at www.ReadySetReiki.com. You can find us on Facebook and on Instagram. Thank you so much. We hope you've enjoyed this episode of Ready Set Reiki.